a generation where, you know, we were born in the decade of emancipation, and there goes our list.
Thanks, Elle.
We don't
Here
mind.
comes
We
our
don't
beautiful Elle
mind.
with
Thank
the list.
you.
Yes.
You know, we were born in the decade of emancipation, and the noise, you know, people say, oh, it's different now. Well, of course it's different, but the only difference really is the noise.
Right.
We had different noise. Today's generation are facing the noise of technology.
Yeah.
And we created the technology, and now we are spending, it seems like, such an enormous amount of time criticising the next generation for using that technology.
Yeah.
And actually, we're just going about it, I think, probably the wrong way. We need to understand that it is a really empowering and brilliantly beneficial thing.
Yeah.
Used in sound bites, like everything else. We learn in sound bites. We should use technology in sound bites. We should eat in sound bites. You know, everything.
It's choice and balance, isn't it?
Choice and balance.
Choice and balance,
Yeah,
guys.
keywords.
So they are really, really. I mean,
Yeah.
choice is new for me today. I'm taking that from Fee. Balance, I believe, is life is about balance, isn't it? It's one big balance.
Well, I think we all struggle with figuring out how to fit in our, you know, I'm a full-time working mum. I struggle to figure out how to fit that day in with the children in the classroom to my family lifestyle and how to balance that. Then I try and figure out how I'm going to balance my family lifestyle with my commitments to my husband and my friends. And so it's all about figuring out how we balance. And the reality is not a lot of us are very good at it. The anxiety, let's bring it back to where we started. The anxiety comes from feeling we can never find any balance. There's too much of this or there's too much of that overwhelms us. And specifically, if we get away from, so our experiences of balancing our lives are obviously going to be much more different from our kids.
Yeah.
Our kids are trying to balance all of this, their school life, the constant feed of social media.
So again, that should be a balance. You pick it up and you should, kids, put it in a bowl at some point in the day. It is not an extension of you. Yeah. And we have to do it too.
Yeah,
I watch myself and I sit on a train, you know, going up to London, and I'm looking at everybody else and myself, because we used to sit on the bus. We'd have can't lose all that. We'd have no we wouldn't have a distraction. I used to just sit on the bus and look out the window. Now even I am uncomfortable doing that now. I've kind of forgotten. So I'm trying to bring myself back. So maybe when you're on a bus or you're on a train, it's not good for us to always be staring at Instagram or Facebook, although it's great for some things. Know to put it down, to switch that off, because putting your feet on the floor, putting your hands on the desk and breathing and just trying for your brain not to be busy. And a lot of people laugh at me because they look at me. Gordon always looks at me and goes, busy brain, and don't tell him this, but quite often he is right. It is busy brain. But actually, when I do your exercise, and when even you just said it on the phone, it made me go, oh, that feels good. And I just try and stop and be still. It is the healthiest place you can be. Yeah. And if you have that, if you have something in you that you know you can take yourself away and you can breathe, it helps. And if you learnt to have that from childhood, that it was the norm, so it's busy and laughing and loud music and skateboarding and doing whatever you want to do, go for it. But also to have the skill to...
I think actually this is
so helpful.
I think you know, we've forgotten how to do it, and so therefore
I don't think I ever
perhaps-
knew.
Well, maybe we never knew. No, I'm not sure
didn't
that I.
know.
Well, apart from my dad, from
Yes.
time to time, you know, just saying stop and breathe. I think honestly, that's one thing that. I think you're right. It was never taught because I suppose it was seen as being
Hippy dippy.
a little hippy dippy. Exactly right. I think today, because there are so many other pressures that we all face, but kids in particular, there is this, you know, and I want to bring up the social media thing, because the irony that we are putting this out on social media, we have to recognise also that while social media can be extremely beneficial,
Extremely.
it can also be unbelievably damaging. We've seen, you know,
Absolutely.
newsreel after newsreel about children who have succumbed to social pressure because of what is being shared on social media. And for me, you know, that as the mum of two almost teenagers, one teenager and one almost teenager, you know, I do find that frightening, and I find it very relevant. We need to make sure that we are being relevant, and we're keeping the conversation going for now, not what, oh well, in our generation it used to be like
No,
this.
forget, we're not there now.
We're not
It's
there.
very different.
This, you know, this extension of our arm, if you like, is only, you know, we've fed this generation of technology buffs, and it's a brilliant thing. But this
But it's got to
global
be
outreach
with
that
respect.
it has, but you know, with respect, it also has to have the knowledge. The thing is that global outreach that literally touches people in an instant, anywhere in the world, the benefits of that are fantastic, but there is also this negativity which today's teenagers feel such a pressure about, because they are measuring themselves as we measure ourselves
Sometimes
constantly.
even adults
They
feel
are
it, don't
measuring themselves by what other kids of their age are doing, and because of that, this very often false pressure that they're seeing, because, you know, kids don't ever
You're not gonna do
really share the I'm having a
boring
rubbish
bit,
day.
no.
You know, it's more like, oh, look at how beautiful I look, or look at this outfit that I just bought, and or, you know, this is my prom night. You know, there are all of these wonderful things that people share, but it gives this false impression that life is great, and the reality is life just isn't great. It is great a lot of the time, and it is rubbish a lot of the time. So the balance, the idea of balance is so important, that we allow our kids to know, you should be, you know, you should inform yourselves. Use this for everything you can use it for. Don't limit yourselves by Instagram or whatever it is. You know, it's a mini computer we would have died for in our teenage
Well,
years.
for instance, you just Google anything you want answered.
Well,
I mean, I love that.
Yeah, come on.
But yeah, you know what? It's
But
part
it's that
of just
perception
saying,
of reality.
Yeah. You are individual.
Yeah,
You are brilliant, just the way you are.
yeah.
Don't feel pressurized by what so and so's doing, or what so and so's wearing, or how many selfies, or don't her lips look great, you know. And also, you know, I might be coming across a bit mumsy, but that's what I am. You are beautiful just the way you are, and everyone also be responsible with this. Be kind. You know, when you're, it's just important. I was speaking to another lady on the train, and her daughter's being bullied, and she told me what's going on with other kids, and it actually made me cry.
But I think actually that's amazing that she actually even found out that she's being bullied. I think where
Because
we've
her
got
daughter-
to really pay attention to are all of the children who that is perhaps happening to, and can't share it with their mums.
Please share.
Can't share it with their best friend or their sister or their brother. You know, that is what frightens me more than anything. It's when all of these things are going on behind closed doors, and you know, we can't know everything, but we've got to be really savvy in our responsibility towards how much we allow kids to you know, spend time on their devices.
And I suppose, but we're speaking, so there's such a, you know, plethora of experience, isn't there?
Yeah.
And people that,
Yeah.
you know, some people don't have anyone that's watching them,
Yeah.
you know, and for those people, we can talk to them as well.
Absolutely.
You know, and say, you know, message us,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
for sure. You know, it's...
Feeling,
you know, it's-
feeling alone and feeling angst-ridden and feeling like you want to pull the duvet over your head because nobody's listening is probably one of the worst feelings ever. And I know, you know, I'm going to be really, really honest. I really do know that feeling of thinking, I don't want to bore anybody with this age-old story of anxiety. I don't want to share this with anybody because I don't want to sound like a broken record. You know what? If we don't actually talk about how we're feeling, we can't get beyond that. There's no way of even beginning to try to figure out what it is that is making us so anxious. And only by facing that do we get over that. We can't.
And also, so many friends or, you know, life experience, they go, I didn't want to bore you because I know I've said it for years. You know, well, no, it's not boring.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think it's actually more prevalent than ever. Anxiety is
it's
everywhere.
through the roof.
It's
through the roof.
Yeah.
And so people are not on their own. There's so many of us going through it from so many different ages.
Yeah.
But I would, you know, SOTALK.
Yeah.
Talk to us, message us. I'm going to round this one up and we'll be back with more. Put your feet on the floor. Put your hands on the floor. Breathe. Give yourself some time. SOTALK. Speak to you later.